Question 18. The cost of hiring a taxi is $2 fixed cost plus X dollars per kilometer for the first 10 kilometers of a journey plus $0.50 per kilometer for the next 15 kilometers of a journey. The graph shows the information about these costs. Now this graph shows the information about this cost, and the breakdown of this cost is that when you hire a taxi, you pay $2 fixed cost before you start the journey. You have to pay that first. That's initial payment. Now the next cost you pay is given to you as X dollars per kilometer for the first 10 kilometers of the journey. That means you pay X amount per kilometer for the first 10 kilometers of the journey. And for the next 15 kilometers of the journey, you pay 0.50 kilometers per hour. All this thing is saying is that the rate at which you pay for the first 10 kilometers is most likely different from the one you pay for the next 15 kilometers after the first 10 kilometers. You should note that. And this explains the graph. The first question, that's A, says find the rate as X dollars per kilometer for the first 10 kilometers of a journey. Find the rate at which they charge for the first 10 kilometers. For the second one, they say they charge at $0.50 per kilometer. Here, you need to find the rate. Now, for you to get the rate, you need to get the amount it charged for the first 10 kilometers. This is the first 10 kilometers. From 0 to 10, that shows the first 10 kilometers. And trending line upwards, that's vertically. It hits at this point, then hits the cost at $10. This $10 is a result of the amount it charged plus the extra $2 you pay as a fixed amount. Note that this question is quite technical, and you need to understand the technicality of this graph. It looks easy, but it's a bit technical. So that means he ended up paying $10 at the end of 10 kilometers. He paid $2 first. That means for $2 to get to $10, you needed to pay extra $8. That means if you add 2 to 8, you get 10. Or you can just say 10 minus 2, that's $8. That means he paid $8 for a distance of 10 kilometers. Now, knowing that he paid $8 for a distance of 10 kilometers, what is the rate? The rate is easy to find if you're very good with understanding units. You have dollars per kilometer. To find the rate, it is the total price paid over the total kilometers covered. That's price over distance covered. It's indicated with the unit, that's dollars per kilometer. After the initial $2, he paid $8 for 10 kilometers. That increased the cost to $10. Since 10 kilometers cost $8 and he did 10 kilometers, so it's 8 over 10. 8 over 10. In decimal is 0.8. Another way of doing this is, since they want the price per kilometer, price per kilometer also means price for 1 kilometer. You can also say since $8 is equivalent to 10 kilometers, then 1 kilometer is equivalent to how many dollars? You can make it X. That's another way of doing it. You put the distance under themselves, that's the kilometers, then you put the currency, that's dollars, under themselves, then you cross and multiply. You can see 10 times X, that's 10 times X equals, then you have on the other side 8 times 1 or 1 times 8, 1 times 8. 10 times X equals 8 times 1 is 8. Since you're looking for X, that's rate per kilometer, divide both sides by 10. 10 cancels 10. X equals 8 over 10. 8 over 10 is 0.8. 8 over 10 is like having 8 with the decimal behind. Then the 10 means you move one step from the right to the left. So you go 1. If it were to be over 100, that's 8 over 100. You have your 8 here, that means you move 2 steps. You go 1, 2. Let's just say the number of zeros determines the number of steps you move. And for 10, since you move 1 step here, you have your decimal here, then you have your 0, that's 0.8. If it were 100, since you moved 2 steps, that's 1, 2. In between the steps, you put a 0. You put your decimal and put a 0 here. That means for 10, that's 8 over 10 is same thing as 0.8, and 8 over 100 is 0.08. If you're still struggling with doing like this, you can have your long division. You can have 8 inside, 10 outside. 8 is on top, so 8 is inside, 10 is outside. 10 is bigger than 8, so 10 can go in 8. You have to increase this 8 to 80 by introducing a 0 and a decimal. So you have 10 in 80, that's 8. 8 times 10 is 80. You subtract, you have dot dot. So your answer is 0.8. I hope you understand. So the rate per dollar for the first 10 kilometers is $0.8 per kilometer. You should actually include your unit. You have your dollar here, then you write per kilometer. So you have $0.8 per kilometer. Question B says, find the total cost of a journey of 25 kilometers. Use the graph to help you. So you have to find the total cost for a distance of 25 kilometers. You have to understand the technicality of this question. You have to add 15 to 10 to give you 25, or 25 minus 10 will give you 15. Now, to get the total cost, we need to know the exact amount he paid for the next 15 kilometers. We have the fixed price he had to pay of $2. We have the amount he paid for the first 10 kilometers, which is $8, and 2 plus 8 gives us 10. We need to know the exact amount he paid for the next 15 kilometers traveled. We're given the rate at $0.50 per kilometer. Now, to get the actual amount he paid, you have to put the distance under themselves and you have to put the currency or the prices under themselves. So you have your distance, you can put it in km, kilometers, and you have your price in dollars. What 0.50 per kilometer is saying is 1 kilometer you pay $0.50. Then for 15 kilometers you pay, let's say Y, you don't know the exact. That's saying 1 kilometer is equivalent to $0.50 and 15 kilometers is equivalent to our unknown, which is Y in this case. We cross multiply to get an answer. We have 1 times Y and 15 times 0.50. 1 times Y is Y. Then on the other side, you have 15 times 0.50. You can multiply, you have 0.50 times 15. You can put the 15 at the base. Since you're not allowed to use a calculator, remember. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. That's 25. From the 25, you write 5. You carry 2. 5 times 0 is 0. 0, which is the result, plus the 2 hanging on top, is 2. That's 0 plus 2 is 2. Then we'll go for the 1. 1 times 0 is 0. You leave a space for the digit at the back. 1 times 5 is 5. And then you have 1 times 0 is 0. You add them together. This is 0. 5 plus 0, that's 5. 2 plus 5, that's 7. Then you have a 0 in front. You know you multiplied a decimal with a whole number. The position of this decimal determines where the decimal will be in your result. So you have a decimal and you have 2 digits behind the decimal. So you count from your right towards your left and put a decimal in front of them. So you count 1, 2. Then you put a decimal here. This 0 can go off. So you have your result as 7.50. That's $7.50. Now you know for the last 15 kilometers he traveled, he paid a total of $7.50. You know, he paid $2 initially, then paid $8 for 10 kilometers. That's 8 plus 2, that's 10. And you know, for the remaining 15 kilometers, he paid $7.50. So you have to add the $10 to the 7.50 cents to get the total amount he paid for the journey. So you have $7.50 plus 10. Note, 10 has to be before the decimal. So you can put a decimal here and add 2 zeros. So you have 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0, that's 5. 7 plus 0, that's 7. There's nothing at the top. You drag down your 1. So the journey cost a total of $17.50. So the answer to question B is $17.50. In summary, to find the total cost for a journey of 25 kilometers, which is from 0 to 25, the total journey, using third statement which says $0.50 per kilometer, you would find the actual amount paid for the 15 kilometers covered, because this shows you the price he paid per kilometer for the next 15 kilometers. And you need the actual amount paid for the total 15 kilometers. Once you get that, which is $7.50, you add it to the $10, because the $10 covers the initial $2 plus the $8 paid for the first 10 kilometers. That's here. That sums up to $10 plus the $7.50 adds up to $17.50.